Hello everyone, my name is Awatara here. I'm doing Master of Engineering Management. In the engineering research method, I'm doing the research on the maintenance of medical equipment, and my topic focuses on the combination of in-house and outsourced maintenance on the equipment. So to get started, we need to know what the medical equipment is. So medical equipment is the devices used in providing the healthcare service to the patients, and they are used by doctors, nurses, or specialists in the hospital, and they are maintained by the clinical engineering team in the hospital. So why do we need to do the maintenance? Maintenance is to assure that our equipment or devices function properly. So once there's no errors on the equipment, we can assure we can increase the longevity of the devices, as well as to ensure the life of the patients. And there are several types of maintenance methodology, but in my research I chose to do only two, which are preventive maintenance and corrective maintenance. The preventive maintenance is the inspection or the correction before the devices getting malfunctioned, and the corrective maintenance is done when the equipment is malfunctioned. So the maintenance can be done based on the planning. So we need to do the planning before starting any maintenance. The planning here, in order to do the planning, we need to collect the data of the equipment or devices in the hospital, and then we set the priority of the maintenance. So after collecting, we have to analyze whether they are in the high priority or low priority, and the maintenance should be done by our team or it is outsourced. And all of this, we need the budget. So once the maintenance planning is done, the budget must be done too. So in-house maintenance, this refers to the maintenance done by our own technician in the hospital. So considering that we need to conduct it in-house, we need to know the number of technicians and their expertise for doing the work. And then we need to think of the spare parts. Do we have the warehouse to store the spare part, or the spare parts are available in the local market, or we have to purchase it? And outsource maintenance, to do this, we don't need to think too much of the resources, because we have to look into the third-party side, whether they have the technicians and the experts to do the maintenance or not. Do they have the spare parts, or the spare parts can be ordered easily or not? And then we think of the budget. We have the budget, and then they give the quotation, so we can have the variety of price to be chosen. However, there are some consideration to think about before deciding to do the outsourced maintenance, and this can be the geographical distance from between the service providers and the hospitals. And the other one is the availability of the spare parts too. If in and this happen, it is hard for the developing country because the infrastructure in their country is not good yet. So sometimes it may delay or postpone the maintenance. So talking about the service that we are going to use, this is shown in my research design, and to be able to select the type of maintenance, we have to consider the criteria as below. We need to, once we need to do maintenance on one equipment, we need to see whether we have the skills and tools available in our hospital or not. And then if the answer is yes, then we have to look into deeper. We look deeper than this. Are the resources which refer to manpower resources and the material resources, are they available in-house? If the answer is yes, then we can start doing the maintenance by ourselves. If we don't have any skills or tool available, we have to think of another thing, which is are they available to be purchased, which means can we purchase the spare parts, and then for manpower, can we conduct the training for our technicians to do the maintenance by ourselves? And if the answer is yes, then we can refer back to the resource where we can get it, and then we can do the maintenance in the hospital by ourselves. If the purchase or the training is not available in the hospital, then we have to do the outsource. And before selecting service providers, we need to think about our equipment, what type of maintenance that we need. Is it critical equipment or not? And talking about the resource, before I said that if it is yes, we can do the in-house maintenance. So what about if it is not available? We need to think of the criticality of the equipment too, and then we have to outsource too. So outsourcing, we need to think of the criticality of the equipment. If it is low, then another question is whether the equipment is complex or not, the failure is complex or not. Is it easy to be maintained? If it is no, then the outsourced maintenance can be done without any contract. If it is yes, we need a contract, and it should be in the contract type C. And here, when it is the average, we need to think of spare parts cost, and is it important or not. If it is not important, then it is classified in the contract type C too. And if the spare part cost is not is important, then it comes to the contract type B. And if the criticality of the equipment is high, we need to think of the labor cost. Is the labor cost important? If it is no, then it comes back to the spare parts cost. And then it will run through this process again to choose the type B or type C. And if it is yes, then the next question is whether the equipment failure is frequent or not. Then if it is frequent, if it is not frequent, it should be in type A, or if it is frequent, it's gonna be in type A star. And what are all of these? All of these are the red line here show the outsourced maintenance. And for the contract type A and A star refer to those contracts who needs a high budget, which means it requires the large amount of money to do the maintenance. And contract type B is the medium high cost, and type C is low cost. That's all for my presentation, and thank you for your attention.